everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Show. We are two geeks who talk about everything. My name is Aaron, and I'm joined as always by my cousin Landon.
Good day again. Another week in the new year.
Right, 2023. How's it treating you so far?
Good. I traveled. I went to Dallas this past week, and I'm about to head into Atlanta for work. And so, yeah, just a lot of. I start the year off running, but I did
You
get
want to know
something
how
really
far?
cool. Oh, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say, you want to know how far my work takes me? About 2 blocks from
Across
my
the street.
apartment. It's pretty awesome. I love
Right.
working so
Now
close to home.
you want to hear something cool? I got something just in the last week. I got a record player, like a real record player. Like they sell
What they
these.
would have had back in the 70s
Yeah.
that you play vinyl
Yeah.
on.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
crazy,
I got
man.
like a
Did you?
record player, and I got a Chris Stapleton Traveler vinyl, and then I've got um Guardians of the Galaxy Volume One on vinyl,
I bet that's a
and
good one to have.
then I've also got let's see, Michael Jackson's Thriller. But the one that I wanted the most is the record that I played over and over and over when I was a kid, and I had a little record player, and it was Huey Lewis and the News, their one of their albums. So anyway, it's pretty
Excellent.
cool. Little nostalgic.
Isn't it crazy how vinyl has made a comeback over the last like decade or so?
I know,
Like it's
I
just it's
know.
nuts.
Well, and I've seen them at like Kohl's and places like that where it's like they have these, and then you'll go into places like I don't know if you've heard of these secondhand Charles or places like that that have like they resell books and games and vintage stuff and all that, and they'll have like a record section, and you can go and you can just peruse old records.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
and
even Barnes and
it's
Noble has a pretty
crazy.
big vinyl section.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Interesting. Well, I think the thing for me is because we're my wife and I were talking about how with our phones and Apple Music and all this, you have really access to anything all the time and playlists. But when I was growing up, music was like an occasion. You chose a CD or you chose a cassette, and you would listen to that. It was kind of you set the mood. It was based upon the feeling you had at the moment. You might wear one out, but you knew what you were getting into. And records are the same way. So that's probably part of the reason I wanted to do it, because I wanted to get like something that I could put on and I could kind of enjoy it, and not just flip between everything. You know what I mean?
There's something too about the sound of vinyl, like compared to like yeah, you get that crisp, clear sound from a CD or from an MP3, but I don't know, something about hearing something played with a needle scratching on vinyl. It's like I don't know. I don't know what it is. If it's a nostalgia thing or like there's just nothing
It
like
just
it.
feels more authentic, right? It feels
Yeah,
like more
yeah,
authentic. I
yeah,
know, I know.
yeah. Like
So
like you're
it's pretty
actually
cool. I
doing the work
encourage you
to
to
get
look
that
into
music.
getting one. Yeah, you should
I
look
don't
into
have
it. It's
room in
pretty
my
cool.
apartment. All right, folks.
So here we go.
This this week we are celebrating the end of 2022 and looking ahead to 2023. As we tend to more often than not talk about movies and television, as you are likely aware if you've been listening or watching our podcast for any length of time. So what we're gonna do is take a look at our top fives from last year and look ahead at what we're looking forward to in 2023. We'll take a look at the world of movies and the world of television, and go from there. And in the meantime, if you're listening, if you're watching, be sure to leave a comment. Shoot us an email or something. Just let us know what were your favorite movies from 2022. What was your favorite TV show in 2022? What broke your mind in 2022? Because there's a lot of good stuff out there, and maybe we missed it. Maybe it's something we didn't get to see. But share your thoughts and opinions with us and we are about to share our thoughts and opinions with you. So,
Yeah,
Landon,
2022. I mean, there's like a lot of movies and a lot of TV shows that came out. Like a lot.
yeah, and honestly, like, there's a lot that I had on my list that I wanted to see, but never got around to it. So 2023, I'm gonna have to play catch up, but I feel like that happens every year. There's always something that comes out that time is a funny thing, and you just don't have enough of it in your day or your week, and you might not make it out to the cinemas as often as you'd like to. But what movies would you say were your top five?
Well, in this in this year, there were a few movies that I had high anticipations for, that I was really excited waiting on. And sometimes the build up and the hype were a little bit more than the movie could probably deliver, you know? I mean, we're all kind of coming out of COVID, and so it's just like we're dying for things. And then there were others that were quite I had low expectations for. Like, for example, as I share my top 5 here, these aren't necessarily in order because it's hard. It's hard to be able to put them in order. And if I do have a loose order here, it's really it's kind of close, for any of them. But one movie, for example, that really surprised me was Top Gun Maverick. I had really low expectations for this movie, and I think it was just like I just thought it was kind of like, okay, another Tom Cruise movie. Everybody's doing like a throwback, and I just couldn't think to myself, what in the world could the plot be that would be interesting to me at all? And I just had the lowest expectations, and yet, man, I really enjoyed it. Even I enjoyed it more than the original. So
I have to agree with that one. Top Gun Maverick, I thought, was even better than the original Top Gun, which is crazy to think about. I mean, you wait what, almost 40 years for a sequel, and it winds up being better than what came before. That's nuts. That's unheard of.
well, and you have a few things that played into it. The fact that the movie didn't just placate a Tom Cruise, it didn't focus just on Tom Cruise. It didn't wasn't just like, hey, look how awesome Tom Cruise is. I mean, this movie was about dealing with emotions and dealing with grief and dealing with aging. And and it was just really cool how it approached a lot of those things instead of just trying to be a badass movie about, shooting things down. You got that, and that was pretty awesome too, but that wasn't like it. So yeah, really, really surprised. It's a movie I could go see again, you know?
It was good. It was good. It is currently streaming on Paramount Plus if you are a subscriber. So go check it out if you have not. Although that's one that probably would have been worth seeing in the theater. I do have a friend who saw it. I believe she said 18 times in the
Jeez.
theater. Um,
Wow. I don't
so
think I have that many.
she was a heavy contributor to the reason why it stayed in the cinemas for like 6 months straight.
Does she have a crush on Miles Teller like most of the girls these days?
I mean, he pulled off that mustache.
He did. He did.
That
Most
casting
people
was
would say,
perfect.
yeah, most people would say, pull off that mustache, not he pulled off the mustache.
Right, right, right. He I'll tell you what, with the mustache, he really has a close resemblance to Anthony Edwards, and
Anthony Edwards.
you wouldn't know that. But he was the perfect casting for the son of Anthony Edwards and Meg Ryan.
Oh, he really was. Now, we didn't get to see Meg Ryan, right?
No, she had passed away off screen too.
Off screen, that's right. And
I think they mentioned she had cancer at some point.
I did like how they had Jennifer Connelly's character was the general's daughter, right?
Right,
From the
right.
first one, how they get in
Yeah,
trouble, that was
yeah,
really good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mention her by name at the start of the first Top Gun, and you never think about her anymore, and then suddenly, oh, here she is. She's a big part of his life. Yeah,
Well, the
yeah,
other
those are
part of
really
it
great.
too that I thought was really awesome was the Val Kilmer aspect.
Oh yeah,
Because, I think, and I don't, I don't think that the movie was successful because of that or that it played on anything with that. I thought it was very respectful and honoring to him and uh I like that a lot. I liked how they did that a
yeah. I
lot.
was so glad they were able to bring him in and utilize him in some fashion, um, because his character was so important to the first Top Gun, and to know that Iceman and Maverick continued a friendship throughout the years, I think meant a lot. So I was really
Right.
glad they were able to bring him in spite of his illness and what everything that Val Kilmer's going through.
And I loved his the way that they turned out, like in their careers. It was appropriate to what you would expect, out of
Yeah,
them. He would go and become, such a huge big deal. But then also just the dialogue that they have together, I thought was really cool. All right, so here's so another one. Again, not mentioning them in order, but I really had looked forward to Jurassic World Dominion because of the two movie sets combining and seeing Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum and uh,
Laura Dern.
Laura Dern come back and be able to connect. It's not that I was looking forward to the plot because the previous movie was not very good to me. I mean, it was okay, but I didn't really get into it. So I wasn't like looking at this one and saying, "Ah, great, now I get to see what happens." I was more just kind of excited to see the different character dynamics all get together and just play off of one another. And that didn't disappoint me. I got what I wanted when I saw that. It was a good end and finish to a saga for me. Um, and I actually can barely remember the plot at this point because it matters
Yeah,
so little to
it,
me.
it it makes me laugh when so many people complained about Fallen Kingdom and about this one, the story. Dude, you're going to see a Jurassic Park movie. What are
I
you
know.
expecting? All right,
I know.
if you
I
if
know.
you get so much as dinosaurs chasing humans, you got your money's worth. Okay, that's all
Yeah.
there is to. Stop looking for Shakespeare. This is a movie about cloned dinosaurs that will never exist in the real world.
Yeah.
Enjoy it for what it is, and then go see something else next week.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was very forgettable, but at the same time, it did answer the need, that I had to see all that come together. Another one that I had strongly looked forward to was Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Um, and I really, really enjoyed that movie a lot. I think, there were some parts of it that, like the build up of it being this a super scary horror movie, was had been going on for some time, over a year, maybe a year and a half, even, or
Since they first announced it,
yeah. I
they
mean, it's supposed to
literally
be the
said this was going to be the
scariest.
first horror movie in the MCU.
I did not find it to be scary in the least bit. I actually felt like it was a little deceiving, if you will, or misleading. That's probably a better way of saying it. That it was a horror genre because when you have, and it's spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, but when you have something like the what ifs, where you get to see a dark um, Doctor Strange, right? And then you have in the previews this decaying Doctor Strange with multiple arms, all lot, doing its thing. You think that leads you to think that you have a nemesis, like that's going to be a formidable foe, like the one
The
in What If.
Pulsars.
Yeah, and so when that did not turn out to be the case, and then the closest of the dark side of him is very limited, in the one character he meets, it's kind of like, you know, it was just now. So the scary parts that I think they really try to play on was Wanda, and her almost contortionist looks and things like that, and things she would do, and she did have some great moments. But it's like these movies where the ghosts, or the characters, or the villains, or even looking at something like Haunting of Hill House or one of those kind of shows, where you're invested in the characters. It doesn't scare you because you know them. You actually feel bad for her, not like in the sense that you don't feel like she should be held responsible for what she's doing, but you're like, oh, please don't do that. You're not like, oh my gosh, I'm scared of Wanda. I never felt that.
Yeah, they turned her into the antagonist, and that doesn't seem to that's not fair to the character. I would say. Now I haven't watched it again since I saw it in the theater, so I'm piecing this together by memory. But I remember there was a scene where she talks about what she did in was it West Haven, the
Yeah,
town that she took over.
yeah,
Talks about that. Talks about her actions, and suddenly she's the villain. But talk about what Doctor Strange did as far as like altering reality and you know what did he do previously? I don't know. Whatever, she's referring to his actions in previous stories that we've seen him in,
right,
and he's a hero, but
right.
she's a villain for doing what she did.
And she's like, that doesn't seem fair, you
Right.
know?
And it's
Right.
not fair. It's not
No, it's
fair.
not.
So, I don't think I it was very much a WandaVision sequel, more so I thought than a Doctor Strange sequel.
I
I
agree.
mean,
I agree with that.
we got Doctor Strange's, his story and more of his background, his feelings for Christine.
Yeah.
Yes, but that was a background note compared to the rest of what was going on with Wanda and her mission
Yeah.
to reunite with her children.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so it's
Right.
it's interesting.
I think you're right. I mean, I also didn't like the whole third eye thing, in the forehead. I'm just like, that's weird. But I will say, of course, the scene where you got to see, in the alternate reality, you got to see uh John Krasinski, or you got to see Patrick Stewart, and all of
Yeah,
them up there. Obviously, a horrific fight and scenes. I mean, that was unforgettable. I mean, and
yeah.
awesome at the same time.
And if you
Um,
ever have to question who's the most powerful Avenger, well, there you go. Scarlet Witch is it.
that would be it. But seeing that happen, and was extremely gratifying for me. And there was a lot of build up, of course, going towards that. So anyway, so that was a big one. Two more, Wakanda Forever. I Wow. I mean, just wow. I loved the movie. I think the bad guy, not really. I didn't really feel much for that side of things, as much as watching the characters deal with grief, and watching the characters grow, and just his sister, and how her journey was, and just, oh my gosh, the anger, and all of that. I just thought all of that was really, really well done. So that movie sticks with me, much like Black Panther stuck to me, but this in a much bigger way. Um, so yeah, I was really glad I got to see that with my family and my kids. Um, if there was like a number one, and you might think this is silly for me, but I've gotten a lot out of watching and rewatching and re-listening to the soundtrack for the movie Spirited, with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, that came out um recently, and it was done by the same people who did Greatest Showman, and or the music was. And we just have really enjoyed that and thoroughly laughed, and it's been kind of a fun family thing together to laugh at and to sing in the car. And I just thought it was a funny movie. I really enjoyed every aspect of it. So that's kind of the one that's really stuck to me the most. All the other ones had great little pieces to them, but this is the one that had a good message, and just kind of, I'll probably keep watching. Those are my 5.
All right. My top 5, as usual, come from Flickchart. Again, not a sponsor, but I can't recommend Flickchart enough. If you want to rank your movies, that's the place to do it. Now, I know a lot of people like to use wait, what's that one that people are trying to get us to use? Um,
The one Noah said,
yeah,
we need to go back and look at what his comment was.
yeah, my mind's gone blank. It's the one that all the millennials are using. Uh,
Yeah.
no, probably Gen Z. Gen Z's using that one. Millennials, I'm sure, use Flickchart too. Um, I love Flickchart. Anyway, so that's where I get my top 5 from. I saw 28 new movies in 2022. Apparently, that's not many. I feel like I missed out on a whole lot. Um, some that I want to mention that I haven't seen yet, but really really want to. The Fablemans, the recent release that Steven Spielberg did. It's almost like an autobiography for him.
Oh,
I'm really interested in seeing that one. Of course, I love everything Steven Spielberg does anyway,
sure.
but that one, kind of seeing, almost like seeing his life story put to film, would be interesting. Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that one?
Yeah. That was good. I liked it.
Um, yeah, the when that one came out, I think that one came out just before Multiverse of Madness came out, and then people were like comparing the two, of course, because it has to do with multiverse, and people were like,
Yeah.
if you see one multiverse movie this year, see Everything Everywhere All at Once.
It's
I
true.
was
It's
like,
true.
well, dang, I didn't see it, I missed it. So that's one I'm gonna have to find streaming somewhere.
So
The
just
Menu.
hold on, just real quick on everything. It's got Short Round in it.
I know, I know.
Short Round. Look, I'm wearing Goonies. It's got he's the same guy
Data.
from Goonies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
So and that's like kicked his career back off. Well, I mean, not career. He's been behind the camera most of the time through his adult
Yeah.
life, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
exciting to see him get back in front of the camera too as an actor. The Menu, which recently came out, Ray Fine, Anya Taylor Joy,
Well,
and I can't remember who else is in it, but that one looked interesting. Uh,
yeah.
I just didn't get a chance to see it. I'm sure it's I think somebody told me it's on HBO Max now, so I'll have to check it out. And The
Yeah,
Whale,
I think it is.
the
Yeah. Brendan
one with
Fraser.
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
I saw a preview for it a couple weeks ago, and I was almost in tears just from like his
Yeah.
performance in it. And everyone is just raving about how uh like transformative his performance is, and like this is like his best role ever. And so like I really do want to see that whenever I get a chance.
Me too.
I don't know where it's going to be streaming in the near future, but as soon as I get a chance to watch it, that's what I want to see.
Me
Uh
too. It actually sparked me to look at his a little bit of a biography about him and his journey, which was a much harder journey in life that I was aware that he had had. I just wondered where he'd been for so long. But if anybody gets a chance to kind of look into a little bit of his story along the way as an actor, he's had quite the journey, rough
yeah,
journey. And this is
yeah.
a wonderful
He had a rough time
thing for him to do.
in Hollywood there for a while, and undeserved.
Right.
Like
Undeserved.
it was
Completely.
nothing of that was necessarily his fault. It was just the way that things fell, and one of those life isn't fair kind of things.
Mm,
But I'm glad to see him back, and especially with this kind of role, I
mm.
would love it. Again, having not even having seen the movie, just seeing the trailer and hearing about like what people are saying about his role in this movie. I hope he gets an award for this one. Like I hope
Oh,
he
I'm
gets
sure he
something like
will.
legit.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be nominated, but I want to see him get the statue.
Yeah.
All right. Getting into my
Real
top
quick,
five.
let me
Yeah.
ask you real quick. Did you hear of Black Phone with Ethan Hawke?
Oh gosh, yeah, I saw that one. That's
Oh,
one of my
that was an
28.
honorable mention for me because that was a movie that was just something I was going to watch like in the background, and I was just like, well,
Mhm.
scary movie. We'll see, whatever.
You gotta pay
And
attention to that
I
one.
was like, I'm like, start getting glued into it, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, it was a really good
Yeah,
movie.
it is. Yeah, that was surprising. Like I wasn't sure what to expect when I saw that one.
Yeah,
And I was really glad I went and saw it because it was surprising how good I thought, like the way the story progressed, and the way like Ethan Hawke's character was just, like so unhinged. Um, I just yeah, it was a great movie.
all right, let's
Did
hear
not
it.
make. All
Yeah,
right, my
yeah.
top five. Uh, Beginning with five. This is in order. Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery.
Oh yeah, so good.
Now on Netflix, if you haven't had a chance to see it. I would not say it's as good as Knives Out, but if you enjoyed Knives Out, you will love this too.
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic movie. Daniel Craig knocks it out of the park again as Benoit Blanc. Number four, Prey, the latest movie in the Predator franchise.
I have not seen it, so it's wor is it obviously it's worth my time if you love it.
Get it, get on Hulu and watch it.
Oh yeah, I
You
got it.
can watch it either in English or you can watch it in oh shoot, what tribe is it? Oh, I can't remember, but like you can watch it in the native language.
Oh, that's good. Well, I
But
speak the native language, so that will be
you'll
helpful.
have
That's good.
the subtitles, of course, but it's fascinating to watch it when they're speaking their actual language. So, but it's oh my gosh, that is what a Predator movie should be. Like for
Okay.
years, we've gotten Predator sequels, and they've been lackluster and they have been mediocre. But this sort of prequel to Predator, it knocks them all out of the water. This is
That's
it's so
great.
good.
That's
So yeah,
great to hear.
you haven't seen it,
All right.
check it out. I'm pretty sure it's still on Hulu. I know that's where it premiered. So so yeah, yeah, check that one out. Turn the lights off. It's a good scary hunter prey movie. Number
Nice.
three, Vengeance. Um, that was the
Vengeance.
BJ Novak. Um, I think he wrote it and starred in it. I know he starred in it.
BJ Novak from The
Um,
Office.
yeah, BJ Novak from The Office. He was
Vengeance.
Ryan the intern or the temp. He moved up the ladder and then got knocked back down the ladder. Um,
A
Vengeance.
writer from New York City attempts to solve the murder of a girl he hooked up with and travels down to investigate the circumstances.
Yeah,
Leo
it's
Boyd
it starts
Holbrook.
off where he's like confused why this girl's family would even call him to let him know that this girl died because they hooked up like one time. But apparently the family thinks that they were very close and that they were dating at the
Oh,
time of her death. And so he's invited down to eulogize her at her funeral. And while he's there, he decides there's a story here and creates a podcast and investigates her death. And it is a really well done movie. I was surprised how much I liked it. Um,
so it looks like it's available to watch on Peacock.
it is on Peacock,
Yeah,
yes.
there you
So
go.
I would,
Okay, all
if you got a
right.
couple hours, give that one a try. I thought it was
Yeah.
great. My number two is Top Gun Maverick, which should not come as any surprise. And number one, The Batman. You know, I had forgotten that that came out in 2022. I was like, because that was so early in the year. Was it that long of a year? I mean, how did I forget that that came out this year?
It's been a long year.
It has been
It was a
apparently,
long
and
2022.
so I don't know. I was surprised when that showed up on my list. I was like, I thought I saw that last year, but no. I think that that is. I'm okay with that being in the top spot. I'm a little surprised there are no Marvel movies in the top five, but you know, I think that just the way things have gone this past year, there was a lot of good movies out there, and Marvel just for whatever reason for me didn't um they didn't meet the standard that they used to, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Well, and it's getting harder to. I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed Thor: Love and Thunder. I enjoyed it. And I thought it was, I would watch it again. Christian Bale's performance was awesome. He
Yeah.
was a great he was a great bad guy.
I
Um,
just wish they'd done more with him though, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, agreed. Yeah, and I didn't like the whole Zeus thing with Russell Crowe. I didn't enjoy that. I thought that was pretty cheesy, and I don't like where they're going with it. But I mean,
Yeah.
that's me. Other people might like it, but um, I thought it was good to see the Jane, arc and all of that. But I thought Guardians of the Galaxy were going to be in it a little bit longer. You know what I mean? So there's just some things, but overall, it was all right.
Yeah. All right. So that's 2022. Anything else you want to say about last year before we start looking at next year, this year? Gosh.
For the movies,
Yeah.
um, no, I mean, I think I let's talk about 2023 movies.
All right. So now I actually went through IMDb and looked ahead at what all movies are coming out throughout the year, and there's a bunch. There's a lot of movies that kind of hit check off those boxes for me as far as stuff I want to see. Um Now I can either go through this list with you and it's a lot. It's too much to talk about. So
Yeah, let's just
let's
talk about a few of them, that
what's
kind of popped to mind.
yeah, what's something you're looking forward to seeing? Give me like a top three stuff you're looking forward to, and then I'll pick three others.
Um, so probably so Ant-Man. Ant-Man's a big one for me.
Yeah.
Um, I think because first of all, Paul Rudd's amazing, and I could watch Evangeline Lilly ever since I watched Lost. I could watch Evangeline Lilly anytime, and my wife is okay with that. But like
She's
his
cutting her
story
hair.
arc, huh?
I just wish she'd stop cutting her hair. Her hair looks so good long.
That's
This
true.
time she's got like a pixie
Um,
cut.
I am interested in learning more about Kang. But I mean, it's more about just kind of seeing where it goes with him. Let's see here. So that's one. I'm not looking forward to Shazam sequel. Um, I liked Shazam a lot, the first one. It was funny. I like Zachary Levi. You know what I mean? But I'm not sure that this one's going to be. I can't imagine this one will be good. But maybe I'll be surprised, like the Top Gun Maverick. You know. Let me see. Uh, the Super Mario Brothers movie, that'll be fun, but that'll be more like for the kids. Um,
What are you talking about? That's for us.
yeah, that'll be for my kids. See, Universal Studios is going to be in the next few years opening up their Epic Park, and they're going to have like a Super Nintendo area, and or
Yeah,
not
I've
Super
seen that.
Nintendo, but a Mario area, and it's going to have blocks that you can punch and get coins and stuff like that. Um, Obviously, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I'm really looking forward to. I'm really hoping that there is a um like Gamora, they get all that worked out. Though I'm wondering what's going to happen with Drax because I think he's already said he's out after this.
Yeah, this
And they
is
might
it.
all be out after this for all I know, but but let me pause there. You go ahead and tell me some of yours while I continue to look through this.
Gosh. So there, I mean, there really are a lot of great titles coming out this year. Whether that means the movies are going to be good or not, I don't know. It's the kind of thing you don't know until you see it. But I am looking forward to the third Creed movie that's
Oh
coming
yeah,
out.
I
So
still
this
need to see
one,
the second one. I've not seen the second one.
oh, dude, you got
Yeah, I
to
watched the first one, but I didn't
Creed
see the second one.
versus Ivan Drago's kid. Oh, so good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. Um, So I was hesitant about this one because Sylvester Stallone is not involved. He's
Uh,
not in this one, and so you got no Rocky, and
yeah,
so it's like this Creed movie has to stand on its own feet, on Michael B. Jordan's feet,
yeah.
and he's directing it. Like Michael B.
Oh,
Jordan is directing the movie. It's got Jonathan. Crap, what's his last name? The same guy that's playing Kang the Conqueror.
yeah,
Um, he's such a good actor. Did you see Lovecraft Country that
yeah,
came on HBO Max a couple years
yeah.
ago?
He did good
That
in
he was
that.
in that.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
is such a great actor. So
He's a
I'm
great
glad to see
actor.
him in this. And what we've seen from him so far as Kang or the He Who Remains in Loki was so great. And so he is the antagonist in Creed 3. And both of them are just jacked. I mean, it's it's insane.
Oh, he's
Saw a preview
really
for it
got
today.
the muscle. Yeah, I
Oh my
guess you have to.
gosh.
Yeah,
So
I would have
I'm
seen
looking
that
forward to
from
that
the
one.
Kang guy, but I guess we haven't really seen him unshirted, you know, or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Are you excited
Uh,
about Indiana Jones?
am I excited about Indiana Jones?
Yeah,
Is that what you're asking? Um, Cautiously optimistic.
me too.
Me too.
It
I
could be
want it to be
so
good
good.
because it needs to be the last time, obviously. Um, but since we got Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, uh, we need to end on a high note, I think. Um, Now, I'm one of those who fully believes that the Last Crusade was the perfect ending for a trilogy for that series.
Me too.
They're they are literally riding off into the sunset at the end of that movie.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
should be the end. That is the perfect ending. But no.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we got Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which was, it was a movie.
Eh,
Um, this Dial of Destiny, though, the one like the teaser trailer we've gotten for it so far, I think looks good.
yeah,
Um, I think there's going to be a lot of uh, flashback because we are seeing a lot of the like de aging technology with Harrison Ford for
yeah.
sure. So I think one of the theories that I've heard is that this Dial of Destiny is actually going to change history at some point, and when we're going to have to go back and like there's going to be time travel involved, and so that will be an interesting spin on this whole archaeology thing.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. Like I said, cautiously optimistic, and I'm hoping that it's good. It needs to be
Well,
good. After Crystal Skull. This we need a win.
we need a win. I know. Well, and the thing is, Harrison Ford's a great actor, so you'll always get his great performance. Even in Crystal Skull, he did good. It was just a stupid story. You know what I mean? And it just
Right.
comes down to that. What about Mission Impossible? I know it's like Mission
I'm always a
Impossible
fan of a Mission
47,
Impossible.
but it looks good from the preview I saw.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of a new Mission Impossible movie, and this is apparently this is part one of a two-part ending for the
Yep.
this at least this branch of the franchise. I'm sure, you know, these are money makers, so it's not like Paramount's going to sit on Mission Impossible forever and not make another movie. But I would foresee this being the end of Tom Cruise's tenure as the star of Mission Impossible.
Right.
Even though I know they I think they were toying with the idea of passing off the baton to Jeremy Renner after Ghost Protocol,
Yeah.
but
That didn't land.
yeah. So I don't think they need to necessarily pass the baton, but if they come back with another Mission Impossible after the second part of this Dead Reckoning title, it would just be a new cast of characters. Um, you know, give it a little time to digest for a while. But yeah, always looking forward to a Mission Impossible. I mean, they're fun, they're exciting. It's a wonder why we've never gotten a headline saying Tom Cruise badly injured or killed on the set of the latest Mission Impossible movie because he insisted on doing his stunts.
He's invincible. I would have thought that, and then gosh, but then you have something like what happened to Jeremy Renner with that snowplow thing, and you're just like,
Ah,
gosh, what a freak accident to happen. Mm. But so there's other ones too. There's like, the Flash, and there's Aquaman, and there's Blue Beetle, and things like that on the DC side. And I wonder if you and I, because we are very similar in our thoughts here, you kind of just have your hands on your face and you're like, oh my gosh, are they gonna be good? And you just feel like
I don't care anymore.
they're gonna be horrible.
If I don't care if they're good or bad at this point. I'll go see them,
Of course.
but knowing that this version of the DC universe is going away, it's almost like what is the
You don't even
point?
want to get
Uh,
invested in it.
right, you're only putting these movies out because you've already made them, right?
Yeah.
Warner Brothers has already put the money into it, which again doesn't explain why they shelved Batgirl, but
No,
um,
stupid.
I still don't understand that. But these movies that are coming out, like you said, you got Shazam, you got The Flash, you got Blue Beetle, Aquaman. This is the last ditch effort of what ostensibly was the Snyderverse.
Yeah.
And it's going away.
Yeah.
Like it's with James Gunn coming along, and what's the other guy's name? I always forget. But they've got a plan. They have a plan for what the next 10 years of DC movies are going to look like.
At least
And
somebody
yes,
will have a plan,
they're going to focus on the big three, but they're also going to try to focus on some of the lesser known DC characters, which I'm excited about. I want to see.
Yeah.
Man, I'm dried out. I would love to see like a Booster Gold Blue Beetle movie.
Sure.
I think that would be great, like a blue and gold. But you how do you introduce those characters, right?
Right. Right.
Um,
Well, I think
I'm
doing a Green Lantern Corpse movie, not just a Green Lantern movie, like they did with Ryan Reynolds, but I mean like the way it should have been done, you know? That would be nice. Let me ask you this. There's a few movies that are coming out, namely Wonka will come out,
mm,
and that'll be another attempt. I think they're going to try to do more homage to Gene Wilder from what I can see, and that would be nice. Because obviously the Johnny Depp version is just a bizarre um type. And then you also have they're doing Exorcist, and I would
yeah,
imagine
I see
that's
that.
going to be pretty scary. They're going to probably try
It
to
better
pull out all
be.
the stops for that one.
But you think about The Exorcist in today's landscape of horror movies. You know, does an Exorcist remake stack up against something like the Conjuring universe? You've
I
got all of
wonder
these
that
movies.
too.
Um, I mean, there's a new Evil Dead movie coming out this year,
I saw that too.
and I mean, Evil Dead is just like is hardcore horror.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, there's a lot of comedy thrown in there as well, but I mean, if you really sit back and watch, there's so much disturbing imagery that comes with an Evil Dead movie.
Right.
Um, so we've had all of this stuff since the original Exorcist came out. So with a remake of The Exorcist, are we really going to be scared of that, or have we become desensitized to what the subject matter is for The Exorcist? Because when the original came out, it was unheard of
Yeah, it was unheard of.
to have a movie like this.
Right. Right.
And people were
Yeah, I
passing
think
out.
you're right. Yeah. I do think you're right. I think there's the question that's got to be going on in the heads of the writers or anybody like that is how do we make this not just about a possessed girl in a bedroom, and I wonder if they'll spend a little bit more time on how it came about, that she got possessed, the little history lesson there, and maybe a little bit more into the depth of the mind. and making it a bit more psychological. I wonder, but
Well, and see, that's what made the first one or the original so good was that, there was that psychological element to it,
yeah,
but it wasn't the demon toying with the girl or her family. It was the demon toying with the priest
yeah, that's
after
right,
the loss of his mother and just his grief and where he was emotionally as
right,
he participated in this exorcism. He was not prepared for
right,
everything that he was going to be attacked with, and then yet he wound up becoming the vessel for this demon, and to save the girl, obviously killed himself in order to rid her of this evil.
right.
um but that was, I mean, that was the most powerful part of it, was just the way that this evil inside her was attacking this priest, and just knowing that how vulnerable he was in his
That
life.
really is what's it's going to come down to is if they can get you invested into the priest, if they can get you invested into the hardship of what the girl's going through, if they can get you on that emotional roller coaster, because if you think about it, not everybody's seen the movie. For many people today, it's too old. They wouldn't even
Right.
entertain it. The younger audience, and so there is an opportunity to tell a good story here. Um, but that's updated. But I do think that there is also a pathway to butchering it.
Oh,
If you take someone who's just like, yeah, it was crazy, right? The girl's possessed and the priest got it and then he jumped and died. You know what I mean? If it's just done by someone who doesn't appreciate the psychological nature of it and can't convey that effectively, then it'll bomb. So we'll see. We shall see.
all right, let me mention one last movie coming out this year, and then I feel like we're pushing time, so let's
Sure.
get to the TV stuff from last year. um I think ultimately the movie I'm looking forward to most is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And that's simply based on how incredible the original Spider-Verse movie was. It was
So
like the
good.
animation was fantastic. Getting Miles Morales' story on the big screen was great.
Yeah.
So I'm psyched for Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
I cannot wait, and knowing that it's only like the second part, there's gonna be a trilogy. So it's great. So
Yeah.
is there anything like that stands out for you? I was like, this is my number one pick. I gotta see this movie.
No, no, I don't think so. And even though I'm excited to see Ant-Man, and like I said before, there's not at this point there's not a movie that I'm super pumped or jacked up to see. So I think I'm like you, waiting for the reins to be picked up with Marvel, or with Star Wars with the shows and things like that. I'm waiting for the next successful phase of things. And so until then, I'm a bit cautious, and I'll go and look forward to being inspired.
Right. Yeah. Just entertain me. I'm
Yeah.
not looking for much. Just I don't need you to change my life. I just want to know that the ticket that I bought is going to give me 2.5 hours of joy.
There you go.
All right. Let's look back at 2022 and television.
Why don't you
All
go
right.
first with
So
your top 5 on the TVs?
my top five. All right. So there's not a flick chart for TV. I don't know why. Uh, but I tried to think about the shows that really stood out to me. So number five for me is House of the Dragon, which we have talked about extensively here. If you missed that episode, go back and listen to it or watch it. It's we get all into the world of Westeros. Number four for me was The Patient. Did you get a chance to watch that one?
No, but I
It's
need
on
to.
uh it's on Hulu.
Yeah.
I think it was an FX show. Steve Carell is
Yeah.
a
Will,
therapist.
Will Ferrell.
No, 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 not Will Ferrell.
Who was there was all right. Which one are you talking about? Who's he with?
Steve Carell and Domhnall Gleeson.
Domhnall Gleeson. What's the one where Will Ferrell was there was two? there were two psychologists where he was doing something too. What am I
I don't know.
thinking of? But
But
go ahead
this
and tell me
one,
about what was the patient about?
so the patient is his. So I'll just give you the basic premise. He starts treating someone who admits to being a serial killer, like
Oh,
an active serial killer,
Tom All Gleason.
and he wants to stop this killer. Domhnall Gleeson plays the serial killer, and he doesn't like that he does these things, and he wants to stop it. And so he starts seeing Steve Carell as his psychiatrist.
I was talking about
But
the
it's
shrink next door, buddy. Sorry about that.
okay. So yeah, The Patient, check it out. Half-hour episodes. It's really easy to binge. Um, Such a good show. It was
Okay.
really well done.
I'll have to check that out. All right, go ahead.
Number three, I got Quantum Leap. This
Oh,
rebooted series surprised me at how well it's being done. I love it. They took a hiatus for 2 months, and it is now back to complete the first season. So I'm looking forward to this mystery that they have built up during the first season. It's already been picked up for a second season, which I'm psyched about.
that's great.
And they have already promised that this is not the kind of thing where they're going to extend the mystery beyond the first season. This is gonna be a one and done. They're gonna wrap it up, and we're gonna have all the answers. I'm sure they'll set up the season two, whatever's big story is gonna be there for the next year. But I know that we can kind of hang our hats on the fact that this story is going to be told, and I'm really excited about it. Number two is Andor, another one we've covered extensively. Same episode as when we talked about Hot D. Hot D. And number one for me, Stranger Things 4.
Oh my gosh.
That has been in 2022, in my opinion, the epitome of good television. I
Mm,
mean, that is just, if you didn't invest in watching Stranger Things season
oh,
4,
do it.
um, what
Do
did
it.
you do with your summer? I mean,
Oh my gosh.
that was
Christine, wake
just
up.
the most.
I don't like this.
Oh,
Have you heard all
Eddie.
the songs that they do? Like that
Yes,
they
I
do
loved it.
online?
I love it. I love how many memes came out of Stranger Things.
Oh my gosh.
This character they introduced this season, Eddie,
Eddie.
was
Oh my gosh.
just the bee's knees. I mean, no spoilers, but gosh, I want to see more of him.
I
Give him his
know.
own.
I know. Oh, the Eddie hour. I've got to say, man, I loved how he took it when just the applaud and praise that he's gotten. I mean, he has been
The
emotional.
actor.
Yeah, the actor. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, that was awesome. Yeah, no, that's great. All right. So I'll do mine. I didn't include Andor in my top 5, but it was really hard not to. Because I really enjoyed Andor a lot. But I'm also looking forward to where Andor's going. And I think I'm looking more and more as the story develops. But my number 5, I can rank these. So my number 5 was Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I really loved Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Oh gee, are you cringing because you forgot it?
Yes. That's
Yeah.
and I agree with you. That is I feel like of the Star Trek series that are out right now, like the new wave of
Yeah.
series that have been hitting Paramount Plus, that's been the best one. That first season of Strange New Worlds was
Yeah.
just fantastic.
It's my favorite Star Trek series since The Next Generation. I mean, I've watched all of them, and I'm just as you have. And I'm telling you, it hit so close to home. Not only was it nostalgic for the original TV series with William Shatner, but it was I'm just so invested in them, and I love the actor that plays Captain Pike. Love
Anthony
it.
Mount.
Yeah. Loved the last episode. Loved all of it. I can't say enough that anybody who does not like Star Trek or is not into Star Trek or maybe doesn't like where they've gone with things and they're out there, this is worth coming back to Star Trek for.
I agree. I agree.
This is the one that you're not going to get oversaturated with agendas. You're going to get some good, solid storytelling, and it's in character. It's great. All right, sorry. Anyway, my number 4 is Hot D for House of Dragon, and loving that. Watching it for the second time with Daffy, and yeah, it's really good. I'm so impressed as to how well they did, getting me invested in the characters at the beginning and then through the time jump. I don't think I've ever seen a show that could do that for me, and I'm just I that's really hard to pull off, and they did a great job at it. And by the end of it, without giving away spoilers, I was so like, uh-oh, here we go, for the next season. It's like, oh, uh-oh, here we go, Number 3 is Willow. It's still going on. I really love Willow. I'm really enjoying it a lot. Have you watched any of it yet? Are you up to date?
I actually got caught up yesterday. I think I was 3 episodes behind.
Yeah.
And so now I binged those 3 yesterday, and so now I'm caught up with episode 7. I think was the most recent one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a very good show. I love that they have taken this one-off movie from 30 years ago and built this huge epic world around it.
They have.
It's incredible.
It's like Lord of the Rings. I mean, and we've talked about how George Lucas wanted to try to do Lord of the Rings and
Right.
he couldn't, so he did Willow.
This is like his version of Lord of the Rings, yeah.
And I've got to say that that's being fulfilled in this series. And I mean, I think I was a little skeptical at the beginning. Some of the acting, at the beginning, maybe didn't land, or it might be a little cheesy, but it was way better than Rings of Power, and
Yeah.
which doesn't take much, but at the same time, I'm so interested and excited about what's happening next. So, my number 2 is Obi-Wan. I really liked Obi-Wan. I liked his story. I like to see the transitions, and Ewan McGregor play his role, and then the Darth Vader or Anakin Obi-Wan connection back and forth. I found that very fulfilling. And so I think the reason that I liked it so much is because while I'm an enthusiast for all the Star Wars, right? We've already talked about that. The latest trilogy just didn't land for me on the Skywalker saga in the way that I think we all want it to. Now, again, I like them. I've always said great things about them, but there was something missing for me that I feel like Ewan McGregor with Obi-Wan tied together in bridging the gap. So I really liked it. I'm hopeful they'll do, as they say they will, another season. Number 1 for me is Stranger Things. Of course.
Best TV on TV.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's so good. There's some other honorable mentions. I think I'm looking forward to seeing 1923 with Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren with the Yellowstone series. I need to finish 1883, and I look forward to watching season 5 of Yellowstone. So that's one, and I mean, there's things like that are good. Blacklist, I'm looking forward to their latest season coming up and stuff like that. But yeah,
I thought Blacklist was over.
Blacklist is coming up. No, got another
A friend of mine said he'd been watching Blacklist and he hated the finale, like that the show was over, and he was so mad when the series ended.
No, let me see when it's coming back on. I don't think so.
Why you look that up? What?
If it is, they got. I don't know about it. So,
I've been late to the party for Yellowstone. I recently was convinced to start watching it, and so I was able to binge the first 4 seasons. I'm that. I have no access to see season 5 as it's coming out, but I did binge 1883 over the last week or so. It's really good.
Yeah.
Um, and I've started watching 1923. The first 3 episodes were available on Paramount Plus.
Are they good?
Um, the third episode really leaves you on a cliffhanger. So the fourth
Oh yeah.
episode, I believe, is available today. I'm gonna have to go on there and watch it after we're done here recording because I need to find out what
Yeah.
happens next. Love Harrison Ford in
Yeah.
it.
It's
I
always good
love
when you
Helen
get that.
Mirren.
Of course.
It
Yeah.
is it's a good show. And Yellowstone, man, I I don't understand why. Here's how it works. It 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 airs on cable on the Paramount network, right? But then when the season is over, it goes to Peacock, not Paramount Plus. What is it? Why? I don't understand that. So
I
I gotta
know.
wait for it to get to
I
Peacock
can't
so
watch
I
it.
can watch season 5.
You well, and I haven't been able to watch it on Paramount because I guess maybe I'll have to check again. When it first came out, I was like, I'm ready to watch it. So the premiere day, I thought it was going to like every other network premiere it where you could watch the episode on your app. And I couldn't. I couldn't find it at all on the premiere date. So I'm like, well, maybe it's a week later. You know, like you watched it live on the whatever. And I didn't see it again. So I stopped trying. So I need to see again if I can even watch any of it now, or if I'm gonna have to wait until it's on Peacock as
Yeah.
well.
See,
So
I was thinking that
stupid.
season 5, I thought it was gonna be like, all right, it airs on Paramount Network, and then the next day it's on Paramount Plus. No, it's not on Paramount Plus at all. Come on,
Blacklist
Taylor
returns
Sheridan.
for season 10 on February 26th.
Oh, I'll tell Mark about that. He was really upset at the end of, I guess, the last season, and um, so maybe he'll be excited that they're following up with more.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Any other
what?
shows? I mean, you've got. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, looking ahead to 2023, or what's something you're looking forward to?
That's what I was going to say too. So I'm looking forward to Loki having another season. I really
Hmm?
enjoyed Loki a lot. Um, I'm looking forward to seeing what's happening in the Walking Dead universe. As there's a Rick and Michonne, there's a the Dead City with Maggie and Negan, and then the Daryl show. Um, I'm looking forward to seeing and Fear the Walking Dead too. I'm looking forward to seeing how those play out and see if they can still pull it off. You know, I'm looking forward to
Wouldn't get your
Andor, of
hopes up, man.
course. What's that? Yeah, I know.
I said I
I
wouldn't
know.
get your hopes up, man.
I know. But those are mine. What about you?
Um, all right. So there's one that's actually already out now on Netflix called Kaleidoscope that is really interesting to me. I haven't seen it yet, but the way
Oh,
that
I
I've been
watched the
hearing about
first episode. Yeah,
like okay, so the way
it's
I've been
good.
hearing about it is like you can watch it in any order except for the last episode has to be a certain one. And like you can watch it in a different order each time and like get new things out of it. So I'm curious about watching that one and then rewatching it in a different order to see what's different and how it affects the way that things are seen. Um, The
Yeah.
Last of Us coming up on HBO Max looks really good.
Oh yeah.
Of course, that's based on the video game. And from what I understand, they are only taking the story from the video game. They are not building on it. They're not adding to it. They're not taking away from it. They are just basically telling the story of this video game. So I hope that's true because the video game is fantastic. I know
Yeah.
you've played both of them, right?
It.
I've only played the first
Yep. Oh
one.
boy. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
like the first one.
It's
In the
really
first
good.
10 minutes, I'm sobbing because of what happens just in the prologue to the game. It's just like, good gosh.
Oh, don't watch the preview for the
Um,
second one.
Let me see. There's a Harrison Ford's doing another TV show called Shrinking. It's him and Jason
Oh,
Segel on Apple TV Plus. Uh, I'm not sure if that's a comedy or a
Another
drama, but it looks
another
interesting.
psychology show?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, yeah, okay.
Of
Guess everybody's
course,
all into
season
that now.
Mandalorian is going to be exciting. We got
Oh
Ahsoka
yeah,
coming
yeah,
out.
Mandalorian.
Um,
Ahsoka! I forgot about Ahsoka.
yeah. Secret Invasion, the next Marvel movie coming out sometime in the spring.
Eh,
Really? I want to know what's happening with the
I don't know what
scrolls.
to expect.
Maybe that's
Really?
a good thing. Maybe you'll be surprised.
Yeah,
Maybe we shouldn't know
maybe.
what's coming every time we turn our TV show on. Maybe we should enjoy the element of surprise instead of reading what's happening on the internet every 5 minutes. Uh, third season of Ted Lasso should be coming at some point this year.
Oh, I
Now
hope so. That's such a great
that
show.
is, and you know what? I read might be the last season though. Like I think they were just doing 3 seasons, which is going to be a bummer,
Yeah,
but such a good show.
no.
Um, that's all. Well, oh no, no, wait, one more Star Wars show, The Acolyte. I think looks really good.
Oh,
That one's
is
gonna
Acolyte
be
coming out in 2023?
It's hitting in August. I
Oh, I'm
believe
looking
that
forward to that.
one. That one's gonna be one from the Sith side of things during the golden age of the Republic, right? Or the High
Yeah,
Republic. Yeah.
it looks dark.
Oh, X-Men 97 coming out on Disney Plus in the fall. Oh, do you not know about
Is
this
it
one?
is it no, what's that?
This is the X-Men cartoon from the 90s, picking up where that one left off in 1997.
And they'll keep going?
Uh-huh.
I will
They
have
got
to
a lot
watch
of
all of them
the
again.
same actors, voice actors come back. It's the same as far as I know, the same animation style. This is going to be the X-Men that we grew up with coming back for new seasons on Disney Plus.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I would enjoy that. Yeah, yeah, that's good. Same guy doing Xavier?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Man, he had the coolest voice. And the same guy doing Wolverine, his voice is like,
Love.
yeah, that one. Hey, one eye. Oh man. There's a lot to look forward to in 2023.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. There's gonna be a lot of good movies are coming out. A lot of good TV, and like a lot, this list of TV shows that I've got here probably doesn't even scratch the surface. I'm sure there's tons of other like true crime documentaries
Yeah.
and stuff
Yeah.
hitting streaming services are all over themselves to
Oh my
compete these
gosh.
days, and so like
We're
there's
getting a
good
lot.
stuff. There's probably another Squid Game season coming out at some point.
I have to say, if movies are letting you down, you know, then just turn on your streaming service because there's something anywhere. I mean, at this point. And we're gonna have a lot to talk about. We're gonna have a lot to talk about this year. We still got to figure that
Concur.
out, but we have a lot to talk about.
Yes, yes, we will. I apologize. I don't have any trivia for this week.
Oh, no
'Cause-
worries. I think we kind of good had a good back and forth on the different ones, but I did want to tell you our next week I will be out, so we'll be 2 weeks till our next one, and
so a
we'll go
little
from there.
hiatus next week. Try
Yeah,
not to forget that we're here.
yeah.
But all right. Anything else, Landon? You want to add from last year or this year?
No, but I love talking about this with you because there's a lot of movies and TV shows that you said that I'd forgotten about or I didn't even think about. So I'm super enthused and excited. I'm gonna have to make a list. It's cool.
Something you used to like get the TV guide had the fall preview. It's
Yeah,
like, ooh, I'm gonna watch that show. Ooh, I'm gonna
yeah,
watch that show. It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
there's not enough time in the day to watch all these shows. They come on at the same time on 3 different networks. I can't watch all of these.
I
That's what
know.
VCRs are for, son.
It's true.
Dad, what's a VCR?
Oh,
All right. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you've joined us on YouTube or on Spotify, there's a good chance you're looking at our handsome faces right now. But if you are elsewhere and just listening to our baritone voices, then give us a like, give us a subscription, 5 stars, drop a comment. Tell us again what were your favorite movies from 2022? What are you looking forward to in 2023? Do you agree with us that Stranger Things is like the apex of
Oh
what
yeah.
good television was in 2022?
Mm,
Because man,
so good.
that was some good TV. I can't get it. I gotta watch it again. I
Oh
need to
yeah.
watch it again.
Oh yeah.
Um, but that being said, wherever you are, I hope that you have a good whatever it is, wherever you are.